Now a wide left slam opportunity from the back by Carlson. And Southwest Minnesota State's Lear will serve. Another service winner for the Mustangs. Lear again. Couple Mustangs hit the deck. The latter, Lear, could not come up with it. Doppler back in for the Dragons. Witzman and Selensky sit down. A whack to the back. A block at the net. And now that one, nobody was going to stop that. Fink for Southwest, Rachel Fink, the Rochester, Minnesota native, and now Erin Corrigan, a senior out of Hutchinson, Minnesota. She wants to be, or she is, a supply chain management major. That's inventory. Now a swing and a miss as the Dragons mistimed that little attempt, and the Mustangs have built a double-digit lead. Erin Corrigan serving. Her team leads at 16-6 here in set number 1. Another mishap on the Dragons side. And Corrigan will continue to serve. Another tip. This time it's Serena Smith out of Andover, Minnesota. As this Mustang squad continues the roll. They've scored the first 12.5 out of 24 points in this match. A block at the net, a dig over the net, Fink again. Gets the Dragons lunging, and Fink will come up with the kill. The Dragons will take another timeout. Southwest Minnesota State dominating here in set number 1.
First thing I do every morning when I get up is look out the window and see what the sky is doing. The neighbors kind of all knowing into this, so I'll get calls or texts saying, oh, there's 2 eagles in the trees over here. I have a lot of relatives who live in other parts of the state, and they see them on TV, and it always kind of makes them feel like they're connected. Keep an eye on the sky and be ready. You never know what might show up.
All right, let's take a look at our standings. Minnesota Duluth, they won earlier today 3-0 at Augustana, so they moved to 16-2. Northern State, Concordia, St. Paul right behind them. Remember, the top 8, the ones on the left, into the NSIC tournament. The ones on the right, not in the NSIC tournament. There's today's play and then next weekend, and that's it. So just like football, volleyball's regular season will end a week from today. Your standings presented by Buffalo Wild Wings. Northern State won earlier today. They are now 15-3, a game behind Minnesota Duluth. Concordia St. Paul won against Mary and remained a game behind. Jurlitt came up with the stop, and then the Dragons. Kaylin Jenkins, the senior out of Hudson, Wisconsin, playing her final match here for the Dragons at home this afternoon. Brooke Walfall, the freshman out of Moorhead, Minnesota. Once again, we always say her looks and talent came from her mom, Jenny. Her dad coaching some basketball for the Dragons down in St. Joseph, Missouri. Getting the slam here, Serena Smith. It's 20-7, Southwest Minnesota State as the back set. Too good off of Amanda Carlson. All of your replays presented by Midco. This is Rachel Fink. She got this party started for Southwest Minnesota State. As there's a clean kill by Doppler for the Dragons. They just couldn't find their footing here. The Mustangs scored the first 2 points. Dragons got a point, and then the Mustangs went on a 7-0 run and have not looked back here in this first set. Fink runs a mile to run that down, but the Mustangs can't get it over. The Dragons close out this season next Friday and Saturday night at Wayne and Augie. That ball goes off the backboard off of Rachel Fink, and Jenkins scores for the Dragons. Timeout on the floor, 20-10 Southwest here in set number 1.
Just looking back on myself freshman year to who I am currently, it's a complete transformation.
You walk around campus all the time, you see friendly faces, you see smiling faces, and people really, really love being here.
For me personally, I was able to get the experience and the knowledge that I needed to be successful.
I've had a pretty long journey to get here. Went to community college, changed majors, and MSUM has transformed my life just incredibly.
The official online store of the Dragons is shopmsumdragons.com with over 1,300 officially licensed items to show off your Dragon pride. Shopmsumdragons.com. You want to talk about how large this game is, or this match for Southwest Minnesota State. The team that was in 8th place, Upper Iowa, lost this afternoon 3-rip at Northern, 15, 12, and 17. So a tie for 8th place is up for grabs, along with Minnesota State Mankato, who won at Minot earlier today. So a Southwest win would mean Upper, Southwest, and Mankato would all be tied for 8th place at 10 and 8. It's not like basketball. Only the top 8 make the playoffs. It's Doppler with a block at the net. 2011. This is the best the Dragons have played. There's a service error so far this afternoon, but they still find themselves down 10. Petterbach back in. Here is Jurlid to serve. The libero for Southwest. That slam attempt is going to end up off the front row of the bleachers in the southeast corner of Nemzik Hall. Southwest 3 points away from set number 1. Jurlid. Another blast for Southwest. How the Dragons got that over. And this one is out. That hit fingertips, it did. That is Lear again, who has been a dominant force for the Mustangs. 23-11, they lead it here as they close in on set number 1. The Mustangs transition. And a carry, or a net violation, excuse me, by the Dragons. I believe it was Elise Bakke. And now it's set point for the Mustangs. Good serve by Lear. A tussle at the net, won by the gray and black and red-clad Dragons by Elise Bakke. Saving the first set for just a moment. Caitlin Selensky will serve for the Dragons. Lear couldn't put it away. She'll get another try. This time she does, and Southwest wins set number 1, 25-12. We're back with more right after this. You're watching live coverage of MSU Moorhead Dragon Volleyball, presented by Dragons Live on WDAY Extra.
Heading to Fargo Moorhead to get away and have a little fun? Book your room at the highly rated Microtel Inn and Suites. It's conveniently located just off 8th Street and I-94. Clean rooms and all the amenities you need to relax and recharge after a fun day out. Plus, when you wake up, you can enjoy a free hot breakfast. What are you waiting for? Book your room today at the Microtel Inn and Suites in Moorhead. Call 218-284-4022 or visit microtelmoorhead.com.
Get fired up for the new Shop MSUMDragons.com, the official online store of Dragon Athletics, featuring top brands like Under Armour, Adidas, Columbia, and more. Get gear in women's, youth, toddler, and infant sizes, perfect for all of our Dragon fans. Support your favorite Dragon team with Select a logo. Anything custom ships in 72 hours. And take your tailgating to the next level with items like bleacher chairs, tailgate tents, and lawn chairs. Get the gear and support your team with profits going directly to Dragon Athletics from shopmsumdragons.com.
Another day. And just like every day, it never seems to slow down. But you have a plan. Grab a cup, grab the paper, and grab a little time. Just for you. It's worth it. Don't get the paper? Just grab the phone. Call now and save up to 60% off the newsstand price. Journalists, bringing the story home every day.
It's a new stay at the Courtyard by Marriott, located just minutes from downtown Fargo, local colleges, shopping centers, and several restaurants. The Courtyard features a 24-hour fitness center, 24-hour on-site Starbucks, and our bistro restaurant and lounge open for breakfast and dinner daily. Relax in one of our 2 indoor swimming pools and hot tub. The comfort your family needs close to all the action at the Courtyard by Marriott. Visit our website or call 218-284-1000. That's 218-284-1000.
All right, welcome back inside Alex Nemza Call. Steve DeStacio with you. Southwest Minnesota State wins set number 1, 25-12. Let's take a look at some first set highlights. And I think we're going to see a lot of Mustang highlights. That was O'Lear for Southwest Minnesota State. That was a Doppler kill for the Dragons, and then Rachel Fink got into the action, and then the Dragons would get a quick kill by Selensky, and then Southwest Minnesota State, a little touch there by Serena Smith. Whatever the Mustangs seem to do, albeit powerful like that to put away the first set or with some touch, they were dominant over the Dragons, winning 25-12. The kills 15-6, all the numbers, as you can see, heavily tilted towards Southwest Minnesota State. Hitting percentage 41 to 14% for the Mustangs. First set stats presented by Midco. That was a good look at Zoe Lear, who seemed to have her way. How about a 556 hitting percentage by Lear in set number 1. So the Dragons will come out, and I believe they will serve first, and they will. Here's Brooke Walthall. Fink, Walthall. A blast by Serena Smith. Perhaps a miscommunication, then a slam dunk by the Mustangs. Elisa Bangin and Serena Smith celebrating as they capture the first point of set number 2. We mentioned Chad Walthall down in St. Joseph, the #1 team in the region. Nebraska Kearney, they're a perfect 27-0. They're playing down in St. Joseph. They got a great Waffle House down there as well. You can take in the volleyball match between Nebraska Kearney and Missouri Western State, and then Minnesota Crookston plays basketball down there while the Dragons will be on their way home. 1-1. Dragon men lost last night down in St. Joseph. Jenkins serve. A dig by Jurlid. A smash by Young, found. Not that one though, Doppler. Powerful right hand, putting the Dragons back on top very early here in set number 2. Another good serve by Jenkins. How about that bullet? But it was out of bounds, a little wide left. Angela Young got every bit of that, but it went awry. Terry Culhane did not argue the call as that ball was just on the outside. Smith will get this point here, and now back in for Southwest comes the junior Lear off the bench. Culhane won his 400th match. Southwest Minnesota State has made the NCAA tournament every year, and they made the national championship match versus the University of Tampa in 2014. Now they're in danger of not even making the NSIC tournament. Huge win last night for this Mustang squad down in Aberdeen against Northern State. A Mustang hits the deck, and then that cross-court blast by Young, the 5th leading killer in the Northern Sun. Mustangs back on top 4-3. They won set number 1, 25-12. Jurlid into the net. A service error, and for the 3rd time this set, we're tied. Solensky and Witzman back in for the Dragons. Solensky to put it in play. Young couldn't put it away. And neither could Witzman as she goes just a 1/3 of the way up the net. Meg Schmidt will come back in for Southwest Minnesota State. Bangin puts it in play. Good driving serve to the back, captured by Petterbach. And now some touch. How about that team mark by the Mustangs? First, the hustling Peyton Jurlid, the libero, the junior out of Mallard, Iowa, and then Angela Young powering one home, 3 in a row for the Mustangs. They're up 6-4. And a service winner. This Dragon match was the latest one, so we're waiting for all the other matches to go final. Busy day in the Northern Sun as Young just clubbed one that one hopped. Brooke Walthall in the snoot. 8-4, the Mustangs on a run. Make every ATM a free ATM. With a Gate City Bank checking account, you can use any ATM for free with unlimited automatic fee refunds. Contact us or visit gatecitybank.com. Gate City Bank, for a better way of life. Member FDIC. Some of the folks here checking out the football scoreboard, I'll bet. The University of Minnesota defeated Penn State earlier today, 31-26. Penn State was in that top 4, and they fell here this afternoon. The Dragons lost the battle for the Axe. The 6th straight time that the visiting team has won. Bemidji State beat the Dragons 28-24. Now we're here on the hardwood, where the Dragon volleyball team is finishing up its home portion of the schedule. They go to Wayne and Augustana next weekend, Friday and Saturday night, and that's it. In 2 weeks, the NSIC tournament. Will it involve Southwest? It will not involve the Dragons. A blast by Carlson. Was that ball tipped? Yes. 9-4 Southwest Minnesota State. This is what they did in set number 1. They went on a run and did not look back. This serve goes long all the way to the south part of this place, and that stops the run. So here comes the Dragons. They'll serve it. It's Amanda Carlson to put it in play. A hop, skip, and a serve. And now a double hit on the Mustangs. And the Dragons have scored 2 in a row. They trail 9-6. Young. Zocker stretching for it. Fink couldn't come up with it. The Dragons have put together a little 3-0 run. They were down by 5. They're now down by a deuce. Young. I think she took something off of that fastball. There was nothing taken off there by Witzman, or did she hit the net? I believe she did. And Southwest will get it. 10-7 Southwest. Elise Bakke, the former Fargo North Spartan, just came up with that kill. 10-8, Dragons trying to keep it tight here in the second set. Good low serve. Here's a bullet thrown down on the far side by Antovic. And now the Mustangs transition. Right down Broadway comes Zoe Lear, her first kill of the second set. Serena Smith, the middle blocker. 6'3", the junior out of Andover, Minnesota. As you see the replay presented by Midco. Smith blasted away. Now the Dragons run into one another and a double hit. And the Mustangs lead inches out to 4. And now a timeout. 12-8 midway here in set number 2.
Your man cave is a lie. It's not a masculine refuge, it's a basement in your wife's house. Caves don't have frilly craft store signs. Yell about it. In your man cave, no one can hear you scream. Wake up! Head upstairs and get to B-dubs, where the kegerators are just called taps, the wall color is TVs, and the wings taste like freedom. Also, your friends actually like coming here. Buffalo Wild Wings. Roar!
Affinity Plus definitely seems like a credit union that cares about people. I've always had a good time whenever I go into my branch. I feel like I laugh every time. Like if they came into a bar, right, then they would be like the friend that you want to introduce to everybody. I talk about this credit union all the time because I think it's just like a gift to the world, because with my experience in the past, this has been just indescribable.
The Dragon Swim School is second to none in the FM area. Visit MSUMDragons.com for more information. Learning to navigate the water is easy with the help of the Dragon Swim School. 12-8 Southwest Minnesota State leads. There's a good look at Lear for Southwest Minnesota State. That's Zocker. Leela Zocker couldn't put it away. It's 13-8 Southwest Minnesota State. There's an interesting and great view of the Mustangs from 30,000 feet. As here's a kill by Kaylin Jenkins, the Hudson, Wisconsin native, playing in her final match along with Taylor Thorson for the Dragons. 13-9 Mustangs. A rocket that goes wide right by Schmidt. Two in a row scored by the Dragons. And now a blast that finds pay dirt by Meg Schmidt. 12th in the NSIC coming into today's match at just over 3 1/4 kills. And raise your hand if you want to get in front of that freight train. 14-10 Southwest Minnesota State. Oh, good court presence that time. Banging the Janesville, Iowa native. Saw a little crack in the Dragons' defense. Mustang lead is a handful. Some touch, grabbed by Fink, blasted down by Serena Smith. Terry Colhane comes off the bench, tells his front line what he would like them to do as this Tia Doppler effort sinks into the net, and Southwest Minnesota State has opened up a 17-10 lead here in set number 2. Amber Klug, the redshirt freshman from Maple Lake, Minnesota, will come in. Doppler will sit down. That blast left, maybe deep by Jenkins, as the Mustangs, after some question marks, there's an ace, clean, it's 19-10, perhaps have grasped this second set. St. Cloud State, you see there at the bottom, 1 in football. That's where the Dragons will be next week, as a great effort that time by Amber Bretwish, the freshman out of Woodbury, Minnesota. The exercise science major just exercised but could not come up with the ball. It's 20-10. This ball shouldered but kept in play. That's legal. Jurid. And a blast. Jenkins with the kill for the Dragons. Brooke Walthall will come in, she'll serve it. The freshman out of Moorhead. Fink, back to Walthall. Overhead slam that time by Amanda Carlson. Just a sophomore, she had a team high 274 of these last year. 20-12. Can the Dragons mount a comeback here in set number 2? Fink. Fink again. All the way back to Walthall. And now the southpaw hitting Amber Klug. Couldn't put it away. Carlson. No. Angela Young will come in and Sydney Omtavit will sit down. She was on the Alabama All-Star team last year. That blast, witnessed by a couple of Mustangs, correctly out of bounds. It's 22-12. This is Rachel Fink to serve. That ball goes long, and Southwest Minnesota State is moving in on a 2-0 lead. Fink, too deep. Movie maker Sean Rice with the camera in one hand, tipping that ball and now grabbing it and throwing it with the other. That's multitasking. Young, a bullet. And 11 set points for Southwest Minnesota State. Jurla to serve. Klug, yes. Amber Klug with a clean winner. Witzman, number 15, Caitlin Selensky, number 18, back in for the Dragons. A little miscommunication after Lear got a couple fingertips on it. Carlson will get credit for the point. Her team trails it though 24-15 here in the second set. And an ace. It's a little 4-0 run. A loop, a slam dunk, thrown down by Fink, or checked that by Elisa Bengen, and that's going to do it for set number 2. Southwest Minnesota State is up 2-0 here in Moorhead. We're back with more after this. You're watching live coverage of MSU Moorhead Dragons Volleyball, presented by Dragons Live on WDAY Extra.
Libby here with another lesson.
Okay, gotta make a list. Pay cable bill, research car insurance rates, get groceries. And my student loan payment is due next week.
You look stressed. If you're worried about money, try riding Mass Bus.
There is a bus stop pretty close to my job. I could give it a try.
Awesome. More conditioner?
Thanks a lot.
He learned his lesson. Join us and take the challenge to ride green.
This is more than a bundle. It's more than a combo deal. It's not just stuff. This is your home, your car. And you want to give them the protection they deserve. With home and auto insurance. State Farm agents get it. It's why they're here.
In Moorhead, talk to State Farm agent Dave Eggers.
Update or download to the all-new MSUM Dragons app on iTunes and Google Play. The new app features customized following of only your favorite Dragons teams, incredible in-app live stats and media coverage, and our fired-up rewards program all in one easy-to-use app. Update your Dragons app, search MSUM in your app store, or visit MSUMDragons.com/app to download the new MSUM Dragons app today.
It's a new stay at the Courtyard by Marriott, located just minutes from downtown Fargo, local colleges, shopping centers, and several restaurants. The Courtyard features a 24-hour fitness center, 24-hour on-site Starbucks, and our bistro restaurant and lounge open for breakfast and dinner daily. Relax in one of our 2 indoor swimming pools and hot tub. The comfort your family needs close to all the action at the Courtyard by Marriott. Visit our website or call 218-284-1000. That's 218-284-1000.
Jacks just rush 4 and they're going to get home. Going for Wanzik in the end zone. What a catch!
To the air on 3rd and goal. Tight end Brett Sampson.
And they're going to look for Enoch. Enoch, touchdown. 2-point conversion is good, and Brandon Valley takes the 1-point lead to win the game.
And Pierre Strong is going to carry it all the way in for a Jackrabbit touchdown.
Exceeding expectations. Getting better every day. It doesn't happen by chance. Preparation pays off. So the only question to ask yourself is, am I better today than I was yesterday? Exceed yesterday. Choose Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine.
Prosperity is today's investment in tomorrow's promise, the promise of a better way of life. With every act of kindness, every act of creation, and with every act of love, we strengthen our community. And when we stand together as a community, we accomplish the impossible. We can choose to pass through life, or we can choose to pass on a better way of life.
Welcome back inside of Alex Nemzik Hall in Moorhead. Steve DeStacio with you. Here are some final scores here in volleyball. Wayne State won earlier today. That was an 11 a.m. match in Bismarck. Wayne over Mary 3-0. Minnesota Duluth stays hot. They won last night. They win today over Minnesota State Mankato. 3 rip Upper Iowa. Enjoy that bus ride home from Bemidji, but it's going to be a happy one. Northern State has won. They beat the University of Sioux Falls 3-1. How about St. Cloud State beating Concordia St. Paul 3-2. Augustana leads Minot 2-1, and Winona State beat Minnesota Crookston 3-0. Take a look at the upcoming volleyball schedule for the Dragons, presented by Richards Transportation. Next Friday night, you can travel down to beautiful northeastern Nebraska if you want to watch the Dragons' penultimate game at 6 o'clock, or penultimate match at Wayne State. And then next Saturday in Sioux Falls, the Dragons will wrap it up at 5 o'clock against Augustana. And then we've got basketball starting this Thursday. I'll have an audio-only webcast here at MSUMDragons.com as the Dragons take on former Dragon assistant coach Josh Vaughn and the Dickinson State Blue Hawks beginning at 6 o'clock, and then we'll watch the Dragon women next Friday night here at home against Metropolitan State of Denver, Colorado. So basketball, men's basketball, Thursday night, MSUMDragons.com. Women's basketball here, Friday night, MSUMDragons.com. And then Saturday at St. Cloud State, football. So we've got it all going on here in Moorhead. It's that crazy transition where football, volleyball, and women's and men's basketball all overlap. 2-0 Mustangs here on the volleyball floor. Watch Tia Doppler get a clean winner, and it's 2-1 Southwest here in set number 3. The Mustangs won the first 2 sets, 25-12 and 25-16. Young, out, just out, and we're level at 2. Southwest has won 19 matches in a row versus the Dragons, dating back to 2006. The last Dragons win in Moorhead was 2004. September 17th of 04. Jurlid serving. And now the Mustangs transition. Watch out below. Lear with a blast. Mustangs increase their lead. I know Lear wanted to go a little bit to her left. Now, whether she saw a couple of Dragons would-be blockers or not, I'm not convinced that crossed her mind. This is Young tipping it over. Jurlid settles. And nobody's going to run this down as Lear will get another kill. She has been an integral part of the Southwest Mustang team, especially here today. Jurlid, Young. That back spins off of a couple Dragons at the net, and it's 6-2 Southwest Minnesota State. Coming into today, 4 football teams had a chance to make the NCAA playoffs. That's probably cut in half. MSU Mankato probably ended Sioux Falls' hopes, 42-39 with that victory in Sioux Falls. And Augustana won at Winona as Tom Sawyer's squad is probably done for the season as far as NCAA's. Augustana won 26-25 in Winona. The Dragons will take a timeout here. They're down 2 sets to love. They're down 7-2 in set number 3.
Dragon Swim School is proud to offer year-round swimming and diving lessons with the lowest student-to-instructor ratio around. Lessons are available for all levels, including parent-child sessions and preschool. Help your child learn to love the water in a safe and caring environment with us at Dragon Swim School. Visit msumdragons.com/swim for more information. That's msumdragons.com/swim.
Before I became a real boy, life was easy. I didn't have to do anything. I just sat there doing sandwich stuff. But man, being alive is so hard. So if you don't want to get up out of bed to get a sandwich, you shouldn't have to. The sheer effort it takes just for basic life functions like breathing has earned you the right to have someone bring that sandwich to you. Your struggle is not lost on us. Have a sandwich, you hero.
Join the Dragon Fire Booster Club and receive half off all season tickets and access to exclusive Dragon events. Visit GoDragonFire.com. 7-2, Southwest Minnesota State leading the Dragons here in set number 3. Jurlid, the libero, serving. A block at the net off a Witzman try. And then this blast, one hops into the Mustang bench. Makes it 8-2. A tip at the net does not fool the Mustangs, but there's a tip at the net by Lear. Whether it's been of the violent or light touching variety, Lear has come up with the goods here this afternoon. 9-2 the Mustangs. That smack by Carlson goes long, straight down the pipe. Here comes Leela Zocker, the sophomore out of Isanti, Minnesota. In exit stage bench goes Bridget Witzman. Bakke, with some authority, gives the Dragons their 3rd point here of the 2nd set. What a beautiful view that was. Bakke coming straight down. Just the overhead kill, taking no prisoners. 10-3. Lear digs it out of the net. Do they go back to her? They go to Young. Fink at the net, or I'm sorry, Bengen at the net once again. That's the 2nd time she's had that little hooker find the floor. This is Bengen to serve. Jenkins with the kill, or the tip over the net. Jurlid couldn't come up with it. Into the match comes Amber Bretwish, the Woodbury, Minnesota native. 11-4 Southwest. Into the net it goes, a Schmidt. We'll get credit for that kill. Amtavit back in, and Young will sit down for the Mustangs. Amtavit to serve, the sophomore out of Daphne, Alabama. The elementary ed major. Jenkins a kill at the net. Zocker out. Morgan Cleveland comes in, a freshman out of Canby, Minnesota. Throw down by Jenkins at the net. That was Fink off balance. Carlson. And Jurla just ran out of real estate. The Dragons fighting their way back, down by a handful, down 2 sets to love here in set number 3. Schmidt couldn't find a home. Jenkins CAD. Jenkins, 3 consecutive kills here in the 3rd set. Now Southwest Minnesota State is going to take a timeout. The Dragons still trail by 4 and a pair of sets.
First thing I do every morning when I get up is look out the window and see what the sky is doing. The neighbors kind of all know I'm into this, so I'll get calls or texts saying, oh, there's 2 eagles in the trees over here. I have a lot of relatives who live in other parts of the state, and they see them on TV, and it always kind of makes them feel like they're connected. Keep an eye on the sky and be ready. You never know what might show up.
Just looking back on myself freshman year to who I am currently, it's a complete transformation.
You walk around campus all the time, you see friendly faces, you see smiling faces, and people really, really love being here.
For me personally, I was able to get the experience and the knowledge that I needed to be successful.
I've had a pretty long journey to get here. Went to community college, changed majors, and MSUM has transformed my life just incredibly.
Download the MSUM Dragons app on iTunes and Google Play. The new app features live stats, media coverage, and you can win amazing prizes with our rewards program. Search MSUM in your app store or visit msumdragons.com/app to download the all-new Dragons app. Morgan Cleveland serving for the Dragons. They've got a couple in a row. They still have some work to do. Down by 4. That blast at the net made the ball take a little left-hand turn. Serena Smith will come back in for the Mustangs. They won the first 2 sets, 25-12, 25-16. They're up 13-8 as Lear serves. That blast hits the tape on the far side as Jenkins is having herself a 3rd set. Serve. Schmidt will score for the Mustangs. Erica Corrigan back in for the Southwest Minnesota State Mustangs. She'll hammer. A block at the net by Young. Carlson couldn't find a home. Here comes Fink, and it's going to be a double hit on the Mustangs as the Dragons continue to try to creep a little bit closer. Selensky to serve for the Dragons. Doppler back in. And that miscue by the Mustangs gets the Dragons back to within 3. Wasn't it just 10-2 a couple of moments ago? Selensky, a changeup. Fink. And that push goes wide right. Angela Young will come back in. The 6'1" outside hitter, a junior out of Conde, South Dakota. This blast finds Petterbach, and now a tip at the net. And now the Dragons will try to set her up again. That ball would have probably gone out But it didn't matter. Another hook by Bengen. She's been so effective today with the left hand, just finding a home, coming over the top and having the touch without carrying it and finding a home. Fink serving, 16-11 Mustangs on top. Doppler, too far. The Dragons will take a timeout. We will stay in Moorhead.
It's a new stay at the Courtyard by Marriott, located just minutes from downtown Fargo, local colleges, shopping centers, and several restaurants. The Courtyard features a 24-hour fitness center, 24-hour on-site Starbucks, and our bistro restaurant and lounge open for breakfast and dinner daily. Relax in one of our 2 indoor swimming pools and hot tub. The comfort your family needs close to all the action at the Courtyard by Marriott. Visit our website or call 218-284-1000. That's 218-284-1000.
Remember this week, it's going to be a busy week here in Moorhead. Basketball Thursday night, basketball Friday night, men on Thursday, women on Friday. Football next Saturday in St. Cloud. The women's basketball team will also play here in Moorhead on Saturday. There's a little to-do going on with St. Cloud and Michigan Tech. This is Rachel Fink serving, 18-11. 2 service winners in a row, and now the Mustangs just a half a dozen points away from wrapping this thing up. Emma Thompson, a junior out of Lincoln, Nebraska, another academic All-NSIC for the Mustangs, in. Young, off balance, dug up by Petterbach. Doppler on the right-hand side scores, 19-12. The Dragons still with work to do as Zocker will come back in for the Dragons. Carlson to put it in play. Good driving serve. Jurlid came up with it. And then stuffed at the net. Serena Smith couldn't put it past Bakke. Right there. Zocker also got a piece of it. Petterbach guides it over the net. Are they going to look for Young? They do. Young didn't get a lot of heat on that ball. And the Dragons once again are back to within 5. 19-14, Southwest leading it. This is Carlson out of Phoenix, Arizona. Wonder what she thought of the weather outside today. How about a clean ace? A spirited effort here by the Dragons in set number 3. And a service error. Peyton Jurlid, the Mallard, Iowa native, serving effectively. Doppler again. 2 kills in the last couple of moments for Doppler. Jenkins, the senior out of Hudson, Wisconsin, back into the match for the Dragons. Petterbach to serve. Her team trails by a handful. Late here in the third set, the Dragons need to win this set to stay alive. Young. Young with the left hand. Lear came up with the block at the net. Lear again. The longest rally of the match. Pushed over by Jurlid, out of bounds. Good reaction by the crowd as they knew they were watching something pretty impressive by both squads. The Dragons still trail by 4. Young. Hammer time as she goes cross court and gets the Mustangs to within 3. Schmidt back in for Southwest Minnesota State. Thompson sits down. Bengen to serve it up. She'll club it to the back. That effort goes off the shoulder of the official. Here's Brett Wish to serve. That ball goes out of bounds. Well judged by Meg Schmidt. Just a sophomore. Although it's been Lear here today for Southwest Minnesota State, Angela Young and Meg Schmidt, two of the heavy hitters for the Mustangs, probably have to play their best if the Mustangs are going to make it just to the NSIC tournament, much less the NCAAs. They have a half dozen match points here. Omdovit to serve, and it's a service winner, and that's going to do it. Southwest Minnesota State defeats the Dragons 3-0. We'll wrap it up right after this. You're watching live coverage of MSU Moorhead Dragons volleyball on WDAY Extra.
Your man cave is a lie. It's not a masculine refuge, it's a basement in your wife's house. Caves don't have frilly craft store signs. Yell about it. In your man cave, no one can hear you scream. Wake up! Head upstairs and get to B-dubs, where the kegerators are just called taps. The wall color is TVs, and the wings taste like freedom. Also, your friends actually like coming here. Buffalo Wild Wings. Roar!
Affinity Plus definitely seems like a credit union that cares about people. I've always had a good time whenever I go into my branch. I feel like I laugh every time. Like if they came into a bar, right, then they would be like the friend that you want to introduce to everybody. I talk about this credit union all the time because I think it's just like a gift to the world, because with my experience in the past, this has been just indescribable.
Liddy here with another lesson.
Okay, gotta make a list. Pay cable bill, research car insurance rates, get groceries. And my student loan payment is due next week.
You look stressed. If you're worried about money, try riding Mass Bus.
There is a bus stop pretty close to my job. I could give it a try.
Awesome. More conditioner?
Thanks a lot.
He learned his lesson. Join us and take the challenge to ride green.
This is more than a bundle. It's more than a combo deal. It's not just stuff. This is your home, your car. And you want to give them the protection they deserve. With home and auto insurance. State Farm agents get it. It's why they're here.
In Moorhead, talk to State Farm agent Dave Eggers.
All right, Steve DeStacio with you. Let's wrap this thing up. Let's take a look at some highlights. Southwest Minnesota State won the first 2 sets, and then they built themselves a lead. That's Zoe Lear, just a junior out of Henderson, Nevada. This is Southwest Minnesota State's Lear once again with some touch. Then Tia Doppler had some kills along with Jenkins in that third set, but it wasn't enough. There's a slam dunk by Jenkins. Coming over the top, Meg Schmidt. I wonder if Carla Nelson liked that hook shot. And then ultimately, Southwest Minnesota State's Omdovit would serve it out. The Mustangs win by the final of 3-0. They had 40 kills in the match, a hitting percentage of 37%. The Mustangs defensively dug it out 35 times to the Dragons 27. And the Mustangs would win. Our game summary presented by Midco. And then our play of the game. Let's go late in set number 2. Southwest up 24-16. And you know what? We were talking about those hook shots by Bengen, and there one is. That's our play of the game presented by Herbert and Gerberts. Truly bold between the buns. Go to herbertandgerberts.com to order online for pickup and delivery. And remember to always live life flavorfully. As far as our player of the game, we documented her in our comparison. Let's go back to Angela Young. She was averaging 4.14 kills per set. She was a little better than that today. She had 14 kills, a 32 and some odd percent hitting percentage. Angela Young, the 6'1" junior out of Conde, South Dakota, is our newsmaker of the game. Call 241-5445 today to get the form of Fargo Moorhead delivered tomorrow. Let's take a look at the upcoming schedule first for the Dragons volleyball squad. Yep, next Friday night at Wayne State at the Rice Auditorium, a 6 o'clock match. And then next Saturday, this 2019 season will come to an end as they will take on a very talented Augustana squad at 5 o'clock. And as far as our upcoming schedule, this is basketball. The Dragons will debut here at home. The men will against the Dickinson State Blue Hawks at 6 o'clock. I'll have the privilege of doing an audio-only webcast here at 6 o'clock. And then on Friday night, the Dragon women take on Metropolitan State of Denver, Colorado. That's an audio-only webcast at 6 o'clock. The Dragon football team fell 28-24 against Bemidji State, surrendering the axe. I will do an audio-only webcast next Saturday. Let's get our days straight. Next Saturday from St. Cloud as the Dragon football team finishes the 2019 season. It's been a whale of a day here in Moorhead. This crew next to me and behind me has been absolutely outstanding. For Don Groth, for Kaylee Sedlacek, for Alex Nelson, everybody involved here at Dragon Athletics. Steve DeStacio saying so long from Alex Nemzikal here in Moorhead. Once again, your final here on the volleyball floor. Southwest Minnesota State 3, the Dragons, nothing.